out of the 110-degree heat and away from some of the sand. I mean, at the end of the day, you were finding sand in places that you never thought you could get sand. I mean, you're pulling it out of your nose and your ears and everything else. I mean, we would have to like try to cover up, wear scarves or masks, and there was times where the wind would kick up, blow all the sand off the set, and they'd have to get like a big pipe and pump sand back up onto the set again, and then rake it all out so we could start all over. So a few times the filming was completely postponed because there was a sandstorm just kick up and we couldn't, you know, sand and movie cameras and things like that don't really mix real well. You get sand in that stuff and it just doesn't work right. So they'd have to spend hours cleaning everything and then we could start back up again, and they would not let us go back to the hotel. It's like, I guess maybe 2 hours away or something from where we were staying. So we'd have to sit out there all day long, basically. We'd start doing all kinds of things, singing to each other, whatever he can do to stay entertained, but that's basically it.
A question for Billie or Corey. There's an author, L. Neil Smith, who wrote the Lando Calrissian novels, Star Wars, they're the extended universe. Have either of you read any of the Lando Calrissian books? No. Okay, that was simple, sorry. Billie, how posh was your trailer on set? Did you have a bunch of chicks in there in bathing suits and a lot of tequila? What? No such luck. Damn.
The accommodations.
It was 30 years ago, I know. I told people not to ask that, and I did, see, so.
Oh, that's funny, I just didn't think about it. It was all great fun. In England, I spent maybe 4 or 5 months in England shooting both movies, and we had decent restaurants. The only thing I really kind of remember about England was, you know, they like to have their little tea sandwiches. And the tea sandwiches were, and I kept looking for what was between 2 pieces of bread. But I always thought that was a little bit fascinating. But it was pretty much of a ritual, a traditional kind of thing. But I just found it very interesting.
All right, this question is for Lando, Billie. Sorry, it's because he said that. It's our favorite question, Billie. Why at the end of The Empire Strikes Back were you wearing Han Solo's clothes? Do you remember the answer we came up with?
You tell him. He's the one he's got the best answer.
Okay.
I think
it's
there are about 3 answers.
Well, there's 3 answers, but we have 2 good ones. The first one is that Lando owned the Millennium Falcon originally, so it's actually Han that stole his clothes out of the closet from the Falcon. And then the more nasty version that Billie came up with was...
they were lovers.
And Princess Leia came knocking on the door and Han went, shit! You put on the wrong clothes. I mean, he went, darn, there are kids in the audience. Man. Does that answer your question, sir? Fantastic. The young lady who was up here, this is for all 3 of you. And Billie, it could be from either Empire or Jedi if you wish, but we want to keep the Star Wars theme. What was your favorite scene to shoot? Favorite scene to shoot? Take a minute, take a minute, take a minute. You got another one? Nice. Oh, okay. Here, you've been given a job by the cast. Don't be shy. Get up there.
My favorite moment, I suppose, when I was introduced in The Empire Strikes Back. I mean, for me, the cape really became a real defining moment for that, for the character. I mean, the whole idea of wearing a cape and having wind blow and cape flying was a real swashbuckling moment for me. So that was certainly one of my seminal moments in the experience.
Corey? Well, I know you had like 30 scenes.
I was only in one scene, so that's easy. That was my favorite one.
Oh, and Stephen, your favorite
Obviously, on the skiff, of course.
Is it the one where Luke kills you?
Yes, I'm very proud of that.
I had to stretch on that one.
You know what?
I had to stretch on that one.
You did?
Yeah. Okay, while he whispers sweet nothings in my ear, I'm going to ask them a question to keep the banter going. Aside from the making of Return of the Jedi, obviously our esteemed guest, Mr. Williams, has been in movies for years, 50 plus years. He's an icon in Hollywood. He's made tons and tons of movies. We all know him as an actor, but a lot of people don't realize he's also an artist. He would even say he's an artist first sometimes. You guys need to check out his website, bdwworldart.com. You can see a lot of the stuff that he does. But Billie, could you share with the audience? I know you won and you've won and have been nominated for some of your art, some awards. You've been won and could you fill people in on your art? I can't talk today. I'm sorry.
I'm just fascinated with this little boy. He's in one position. He's fast asleep. He hasn't moved from that position all through this whole banter. A beautiful kid. Yeah, well, I as a painter, you know, I grew up in New York City, and I went to a school called Music and Art High School where I majored in art. And from Music and Art, I went to I got a scholarship to a school called the National Academy of Design for the Fine Arts, where I spent 2 years on the scholarship and won. I was nominated for a Guggenheim when I was 18 and 19 years old, and I won a Hallgard, which is comparable to a Guggenheim. But I also have a painting. Smithsonian owns one of my paintings, and the Schomburg in New York and the Kansas City Jazz Museum owns one of my paintings. So, and I've been exhibiting for quite a few years. And in fact, I have now some paintings up in Toronto, a gallery there, the Brian List Gallery. But painting has been very much a part of my life, a real passion, most of my life. But now my son is amazing. He does, besides being a trainer and a nutritionist, he does amazing work as far as interior design is concerned. I mean, absolutely. And I don't just say this because he's my son, but I've seen what he does. He is absolutely amazing.
Okay, Billie, since you have the mic, we're going to give you the next.
Great musician. Both these guys. I was just listening to some of this great stuff that they're putting together. Steve plays the guitar, Corey plays the bass, and they had a band together when they were teenagers, and it was pretty spectacular stuff that they were doing at that time. They were doing what they call fusion music, and Corey, you're a pretty amazing person. You really are. I have to say that about my little boy.
All right, Billie, while you have the mic, this is a question directly for you. How did you get the role of Lando Calrissian?
Herb Kirchner came to my house. They asked me, at that time I was really gaining a lot of popularity in movies. And after I did Brian's Song, I was nominated for an Emmy. And then I did those movies with Diana Ross, Lady Sings the Blues, and Mahogany. And things were going along very well. So the Lucas Company asked me to participate in the movie. So I had a meeting with Herb Kirchner, who's probably one of the most amazing individuals I've ever met in my life. And we both can attest to that. And he would be really missed. But Herb, he came to my house and we sat down and we talked. for a long time. We talked about a lot of things, and I had been very much interested in, involved in Eastern philosophy, and Krishna was very much involved with Eastern philosophy, Buddhism, and so we established a really good rapport with each other. So that's how it all really began.
All right, so this is something for you guys to think over, because it's going to be a politically correct answer that you're going to need to give, so mull it over. We had a question from one of the people in the audience: who was the most fun on set to party with at the end of the day? And watch what you say. And while you mull it over, there was another question that I'll let you guys know. It was for Billie, but Billie actually never saw this version of the script. The question was, is it true that the Millennium Falcon was supposed to blow up in the Death Star? And Billie actually never got that script. The script that Billie got was the right one. There is only one version of the script, and it's an early one that, yes, that is true, but it was changed very quickly. So it was never intended, it was never storyboarded that Lando was going to die. So does that answer your question? Where is he? Yes, somewhere? Yes, okay. Oh, he's right there, okay. So now they're going to answer this question, and then guys, I'm sorry, I should have said something before. We're going to wrap it up, but don't be shy. You can come to their table and ask them anything you want to know, okay? Almost. Okay, guys, are you ready? Do you got a PC answer here?
I'll take this one. Well, I guess everybody was kind of fun in general because, you're out there in the middle of the desert. It's just us. We're pretty isolated from everyone else, so we don't have anybody else to party with but each other, basically. But so it's like the cast and the crew, and we got really close to a lot of the crew members, and a lot of them lived there in the town, and they were really cool to hang out with. But I think the most memorable thing that used to happen is that since Stephen and I were in a band together, we decided we were going to bring instruments with us, because when my father said, you guys want to come to Yuma, Arizona for 2 weeks and do Star Wars? And we were like, well, I don't know about it. We'd rather stay here and jam, But we said, okay, yeah, let's do it. But let's bring our axes with us. So Steve brought his guitar, brought my bass, and we had a little amp or whatever we had in the hotel room. And word got out that we would jam in our hotel room at night. And so people would start coming and knocking on the door. You guys jamming tonight? So it was like we had like a little nightclub going in our hotel room where everybody would show up and listen to us jam and bring beer or whatever else they wanted to bring. It was kind of crazy, but it was fun.
Best 2 weeks of their lives. Everybody can follow Stephen on Facebook, correct? Stephen Costantino. Everybody can follow Corey on Facebook. Corey.
And at CoreyDWilliams.com.
DWilliams.com. And if you guys want to follow Mr. Billie Dee Williams on Twitter, it's RealBDW, right? RealBDW on Twitter. No. RealBDW. I'm almost positive. Right. And then they can follow me on Derek Mackey. And we finally have a Facebook page for Billie Dee Williams that you guys can follow as well. There'll be updates on appearances and stuff. So please go follow all of us if you want. And thank you for being so attentive. I'm sorry that we're competing with them, but you guys are about to show them what a real crowd is all about. Give it up for Stephen, Corey,